They pretend like they're, doing everything for the good of the people with their virtue signaling extremist takes. But in reality, it's all just like, I really hate to say it sounds like a delusional conspiracy theory, but it's not, okay? These motherfuckers, it's all about a control. The very thing they preach against is what they do, how they can maintain their power, stay in power, and eliminate everything and anything that threatens them, their platform, and any sort of inconsistency or anything that they can't control, they fear. You understand? That's all this is. Like, that's the realest shit you're gonna hear, okay? A lot of you are gonna brush that off as some conspiracy theory bullshit. You're gonna can attach it to that extremist matrix bullshit preached by the other side of crazy motherfuckers. But in reality, if you take both sides, both of their fear-mongering tactics, and you put it in the middle, you take out the fear-mongering, you take out the extremist bullshit, you take out the virtue signaling, you know what I'm saying? You take out the hate speech. In the middle, you'll have the truth. You understand? Both sides eliminate whatever they cannot control, or they try to, through the use of fear. And what I'm saying right now is gonna sound crazy, but in like 5 to 10 years, it'll be based. Believe me, okay? It'll be based. Just trust me on this. It's just how it is. That's just the fucking truth. Yesterday was unfortunate. Aiden's hate speech, yeah, that was really fucking stupid. That was really bad. Like, I even texted him. I gave him a lecture. It's not only beyond hateful, it's trashy. No human of class should ever be like, it's just not okay, Listen. A lot of you guys know that I have been an advocate for transgender rights, right? We have a lot of transgender individuals in our community, and even in my edgiest days, I still was an advocate for transgender rights, right? Even in my edgiest. But what I feel like is happening, and this is anecdotal, obviously, this is through my own experience. I don't want to accidentally gaslight anybody. But what I feel like is happening are the people are using, right? The people who are outraged and pushing for a permanent ban and a deplatforming are using the platform for transgender individuals, perverting it, manipulating it to push their own agendas. That's what's happened time and time and time again, not only for transgender individuals, but also for women's rights, also for Black Lives Matter. That's what they do. And if you want to understand what I mean by that, look at the gambling stuff that I did. Let's fucking revert back to that as an example. For years, these same people have been, causing a huge scene over the things that I do, right? Whether it's Gordon Ramsay, CSGO, right? Among Us, competitive gambling when I started, which to be fair is a justified thing to be angry about. It gave them a free pass to hide their jealousies, insecurities, and hatred behind. So now, instead of making it obvious and going for something stupid, they have an actual cause they can get behind and claim it's for that. But as we see from their silence, when it comes to Neymar, when it comes to gambling on the site as is, when it comes to Amazon sports betting deals and slots ads that run in pre-rolls across all the large creators channels that have signed contracts with a huge conglomerate, we see silence. So what should that show anybody with even one fucking brain cell? That certain movements that in my opinion are good and are a net positive for today's world are being used by a bunch of virtue signaling loser streamers to push people out that threaten their own platforms or cause a instability in what they see as a definite future based on where they're at now, right? So it gets a little tricky. I don't think it's black and white here. I could ban Aiden Ross, but then what happens? It pushes him further down the rabbit hole. Now, with whatever little logic he was using, which clearly from his statements, it's little to none. Now, just out of spite, anger, and being pushed out, what happens? You spiral down, right? And you go even more extremist, and you go even more hate, and you go even more ignorant viewpoints, right? And it's one of the things I wish these extremists, these just absolute virtue signaling, do good for all, even though none of their actions say anything like that. Let me give you an example of what I mean by that. They push for rehabilitation over a cancellation or over jailing for the rest of your life. Yet when it comes to social media, when it comes to people that threaten their own platforms, suddenly that entire do good and virtue signaling bullshit is gone. There's no rehabilitation. There's no teaching. There is no reaching out and trying to teach over time instead of just pushing out, canceling, and just forever putting them into a hole. It's fucking weird. And I hope one day people see that these streamers, they're all looks, they're all talk, that's it. None of their actions match any of the idealistic shit they preach. Do you understand? And I will stand by that. I don't give a And in time, that truth will come out. That truth will come to the surface. People will start seeing that. I came from a time where it was actions over words, you understand? And if it was the opposite, you were considered disingenuous and a fake mother. right? So that's just kind of how it is, you know? So right now, I'm hoping he goes live today, addresses it, apologizes. If not, if that's not enough, then we push, you know, another level. But at the end of the day, I think alienating and canceling is the wrong move for situations like this, right? Obviously, there's certain heinous levels of shit, and you could argue this is heinous, but what I mean by heinous levels of shit, I'm not talking about, like in this situation, I'd like to believe Adin Ross isn't a hateful person, right? That's what I'd like to believe. I just think he said something that was hateful, and that's one thing that I feel like no one ever distinguishes, right? No one ever talks about because it doesn't sell. There's a difference from being a hateful person and saying hateful shit. Do you understand? And I think it's a mistake to alienate and cancel people who say it but aren't truly about it. I think the people who say it but aren't about it can still be, you know, brought over to a middle ground, can still be taught, rehabilitated, right? So at the end of the day, that's kind of where we're at. The problem is hate speech. It's not speech that you hate. What? He should be on thin ice though. Of course, he was on thin ice 6 weeks ago. He needs to really, like, trust me, like, oh man, it's just wild. Like, I can't even, it's just such a, like, what angers me, and I relayed this to him too, like, what angers me is, I wish the situation was black and white. I wish it was. I wish I knew that he was just this hateful person and it'd be an easy decision, right? But what angers me the most is, I don't genuinely believe he feels this way deep down as, like, Adin Ross outside of streaming. I feel like he's doing it for shock factor content, just like Andrew Tate does, right? That shock factor content. Andrew Tate might be a bad example since maybe he does do some things. I'm not sure. I have to look more into that and research that before using that as an example, but you know what I mean? I'm referring to the shock factor content where you just say some wild shit to get a reaction that's just crazy. Like, that's what angers me the most. Like, it angers me that, like, it's just like, it's so stupid. It's just such a, like, it's just so dumb. It's so dumb. Like, what a stupid thing to say. They did him Matrix like they did you. What are you talking about? He says stuff like that the entire stream. Yeah, well, we're gonna have to, I've already pushed to the other owners to have a talk with this guy, because it's just like, it's just embarrassing, man. It's really, really embarrassing. It's so embarrassing, and like, he's digging himself into a hole that he just can't understand. It's so embarrassing. No disrespect to you, Train, but that guy's a fucking idiot. I mean, there's no disrespect to me. I'll say to he's a fucking idiot. I want Kick to thrive and be options. At the moment, it's very embarrassing to be the face of Kick. Yeah, he's not the face of Kick. I don't know why people like suddenly bring that up as if he's the face of Kick. Like, they don't apply those same rules to Twitch. There was like 5 or 6 massive streamers that are bigger than the face of Kick. I mean, right? We can all say who the face of Kick is. He is. No, he's not. You just attribute that based on your own insecurities of life that translate into more viewers, boss. More likes, must be right. Right? Like, what the look at Twitch. Do you apply the same thing to him? Do you? We all know who the face of Twitch is, right? She's all over the app. She's all over everywhere, right? She gets what, 10 to 15K viewers? There's not even 10. There's 70, 80 streamers that not only double or triple that view count, they quintuple it. They 10 times it. You guys automatically say, oh, they're the face of Twitch? Would you say the Spanish streamers are the face of Twitch? They pulled 3.7 million viewers during their events? No. So why are you guys attributing Adin Ross to be the face of Kick because he pulls 60K viewers? Like, it's just so weird to me. It's really fucking weird to me. It's so amazing how many chances Adin Ross gets. Everyone gets a lot of chances. That's how it should be. I think you guys are all brainwashed and conditioned by these fucking losers on the internet that preach rehabilitation on one hand, and then the other hand, when they bring it to the social media world, which let's be real, the crimes are way less damning than the crimes that are committed for the people they preach rehabilitation for. They literally preach rehabilitation for fucking serial killers, rapists, traffickers, and all kinds of shit. They literally preach rehabilitation, right? And then someone says some really up shit, they say it, but they're not really about it, and suddenly no rehabilitation, full cancellation, full removal. If you don't do it, this, like, come on, Jesus Christ, some of y'all are wild. Rehabilitation comes after punishment. Stop being stupid. Yeah, you're right, brother, you're right. I should give you guys the benefit of the doubt, like we've seen over the years, right? After you guys cancel everybody, you sit there and work for the rehabilitation, right? That makes sense. You're right. How could I have forgotten?